grateful in a way that both of us seem to manage to find something outside of our work to do, to occupy our time. What Redford has done with the Sundance Institute and what he's done to encourage and find talent that is about to emerge is exceptional, both in its timing and in its quality.
What started out on a shoestring and a very simple idea to simply create an opportunity for new artists to have a place to come and develop and work where none existed, and create opportunities not only for the artist but for the audience, because the audience would not be deprived.
This evening, it's yours. It's your evening, it's your festival, and you're the ones that really do make it work. I mean, why are we here? We provide the opportunity.
I had a real strong decade of work, sometimes 3 or 4 films back to back. I said, well, you know, you can get in danger now if you fall in love with yourself, you fall in love with your work. It's a good time to maybe sometimes stop and take yourself back to zero and rethink what you're doing, get a fresh look at it.
I'm not in the business of judging my image to the public. You're kind of judged by the role that you play. For a while, I was the Sundance Kid. For a while, you're the character in The Sting, or you're the candidate, or you're Jeremiah Johnson. So it's a constant struggle to try to break out of the category that people want to put you in based on the picture they've just seen.
He really found a refuge for himself, away from California, away from the business, away from New York.
If you're so busy being in the public eye, where do you have a private life? There's no fun in it. You don't have any life of your own. If you take yourself out of the fast lane, then move to a place that just is quieter. So at least you have a place to go to, a place to retreat to that keeps you in balance.
I go in there and sit. I just go into the theater and sit and kind of meditate. This theater started out as a tryout playhouse for the Theater Guild. So every great American actor and actress at one point must have played in this theater. And when they asked me to write the introduction to the book about the new theater, that's all I did, was to just say, here's the history of the theater. And I just listed the names. Groucho Marx, Dorothy Gish, Lillian Gish, Jane Wyatt, Jane Cowell, Lorette Taylor, Skip Aline, Hugh O'Brien, Faye Emerson, Burt Lara, Sir Cedric Hardwick, Tony Randall, Douglas Fairbanks Jr. How about that? I mean, you can't believe anything like this.
Success. Why did you think about success? The only thing I thought about is that I wanted to do something. So I guess that was my own way of saying I wanted to be important. Then you just attach yourself to a trade. In my own case, it was acting. Once that was it, it's you were going to do something as an actor.
Both of us owe a great debt to George Roy Hill. It really isn't a duet here, it's really a trio. George was the third part of the trio. He had such an eye and such an ear and such an instinct for truth. And he also always thought out of the box.
When George Roy Hill showed a rough cut of Butch Cassidy, I said, what in the hell is that song doing in there? What is that? Raindrops keep on, there's no rain? I said, well, boy, that's tanked with that thing. I couldn't figure out, and boy, was I wrong, because I then had to listen to the song in the top 10 for about 6 months after that. He was really a craftsman. So if you look at Butch Cassidy or The Sting, both those films are really George's films. He managed the scene, and Paul and I could argue with him, fight with him, try to trick him, but he would do that to us too, so it was a pretty great dynamic.
He's the only guy that can make him on time. I mean, that in itself is some kind of a triumph. If you weren't on time, he'd take you up on his airplane.
Yeah, that's right.
That'd scare the bejesus out of it.
That's right. Or if we went out to eat, I would forever get stuck with the tab.
Miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. There's a couple of things that Paul and I have talked about doing, and in a lot of those cases, it's like, well, this would be good, except is there the craftsman to make it really worthwhile? And we will say no.
That finishes me.
That finishes you. You're at the end of your rope.
We've had quite a road together, Paul and I. Jumped off cliffs. We've robbed trains, pulled off a sting or two, but to give you an idea about the kind of friend he's been to me, there was a time a while back when I was trying to get an apartment in New York. So I wrote to a few friends if they would support me and give me references. And I'd like to share with you tonight the letter that Paul wrote the board. To whom it may concern, Mr. Robert Redford has owed me $120 for over 3 years. He will not assume his obligation under threat of loss of friendship, honor, loyalty. I cannot, in good conscience, recommend him for anything.
There's certain friendships that are sometimes too good and too strong to talk about. Both Paul and I have a sensitivity to exploiting our friendship. Maybe, if you ask, well, what do you think anybody can learn from Paul? I think just hearing his story and about how he went about it, doing it his own way. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing. And it doesn't have to be silly. It can be hard work, and it can be edgy. It can be a lot of things. But it can also be fun.
I'm just thinking, can I just get the two of you together and just give me a different shape picture because you're standing here in front of me, and I'll give you a vertical picture.
How about just sitting down here on a bench?
He wants a
I
vertical.
wouldn't mind if you wouldn't standing because I've got you both sitting.
He's got so much sitting, he wants to get us vertical.
Give me a different...
We might as well do it while we still can, don't you think?
Wait.
If you start something like he did as a lark, and it catches on, and then you follow it, that's a hell of a seed. It doesn't come from some business plan. It doesn't come from some guys sitting in an office tooling around with an accountant saying, how can we make money out of this thing? Well, this thing has to be able to generate income, otherwise we don't even go there. But no, you start something that's sort of self-effacing, playing on yourself, playing on your own celebrity, and it turns into something positive, and then you roll out with it. God, that's fun.
Feel like he's 7 inches taller than me.
No.
Well, you showed it my feet.
You want me to kneel?
I can remember in my high school days, and I kept thinking to myself, now, why do those actors go out in public after a certain age? I mean, why would they want to blow this image that they've worked so hard and allow themselves to be photographed? They should have just stayed at home and stayed young and youthful. And now it's there for everybody to look at, all our warts, stuttering and bad posture, all those things that should never happen, really.
Okay, he's got to go.
All right, great, wonderful.
Okay,
See you.
peace.
Yeah.
Well, times change. Yeah, it ain't so bad.